Alright everyone, welcome back to Paving Everything in RoadCraft. So, we're going to use our new scalpers here and continue paving the way up this way, skipping through the plant and then paving up this road and over to here, and then everything over here is paved. So then we'll continue down this way up to that sand pit quarry right there. So, let's just jump right to it and get into it, shall we? We're going to use, for the first time ever, our asphalt destruction feature, because this little bit of road that I previously paved during the campaign is not going to work out for us. It's not going to be a very smooth road. I always end up getting stuck, bringing big machinery down here. So it was actually the first time I've ever used the asphalt destruction thing. So it seems like it just, whenever it touches a piece of asphalt that we've laid down, it ends up shattering it and then slowly after the asphalt despawns, right? Which is pretty great. It's definitely fun to use, I will say that. But yeah, I'm just going to destroy this asphalt, then we're going to lay a little more sand over this to give it more of a smooth and gradual curve instead of like a weird like bump shape here. Real quick to pop in here, ladies and gentlemen, there's a new vehicle that was added to the game, which is this little scout trailer here, which works out quite nicely to do our little pulling of this mechanism, of the paver, I should say, because it's a little bit lower to the ground. It's not as long and unwieldy, and so when we go over like bumps and stuff, it's not gonna be quite as like peaked in the middle between the trailer and the vehicle. The only thing is it looks completely ridiculous because of how huge the paver is. And it's also kind of not good at backing up, so that'll be an issue. But this thing comes in handy throughout basically the rest of our playthrough, unless we're doing some very sharp turns and stuff like that. It is an amazing new addition to the game, one of the newer things that I've released. There's 3 other, I think, vehicles that came out, but they're all kind of worthless in my opinion. They're basically vehicles that can only winch things. They can't like haul anything. They don't do anything else like that. They're just like, if you flip a vehicle, you can use one of those to pull it back upright. But I mean, if you're going to be driving a vehicle over to a flipped over vehicle anyway, you might as well just recover the flipped vehicle and just drive it back rather than wasting your time, right? But yeah, that's what this new vehicle is from, and it is going to be quite handy. You'll see me using it here. It's much faster than the other one as well, more maneuverable, so it comes in handy a lot. The only problem is it kind of fishtails a little bit with the paver on it. You'll see me kind of messing up there at times, and this is my first time really trying to use it, so I'm definitely trying to figure out how exactly it goes around. But by the end of this series, I definitely figure out how to properly utilize this one. Um, it's just sad that it takes like the last map for me to realize, hey, if I'm going around a corner, what I want to do is apply the low gear so I slow down and I don't just fly around the corner causing the trailer to like whip around like a whip and all that. But yeah, it's great. It'll come in handy. I love it. Folks, so I don't know what exactly I was trying to accomplish by doing this, since it doesn't really appear to matter. I think I was trying to see if I could get this on here and then have enough room behind it to also have another vehicle on it on this larger trailer, but I mean, let's face it, it doesn't work, right? Oh, I forgot to mention another neat thing in this update that they came up with is when you actually load something onto one of these trailers, like the vehicle specifically, you're actually able to strap them down now, so we don't have to worry about one of the vehicles falling off if we go around a corner too fast. But yeah, I'm basically going to just mess around with this little thing here for a little while, and also some of the other newer vehicles, just kind of seeing what I can do with them. Fun fact, this new Scout thing also has a winch on it, which means what we can do is get the paver on top of it and then winch the roller behind it, and that way we can transport both at once rather than having to do them one at a time, which I'll be using kind of going forward here. I think at this particular moment I try to experiment with dragging the roller behind a vehicle in order to speed up the roller's process. It kind of works, but you'll see it does not work perfectly, and so I end up not using that particular method of rolling the pavement out going forward very much. So yeah, but you can see some of the new vehicles here, these kind of winch related ones. I choose this one because I like the design of the truck and everything. So I'll just kind of come up here, winch on the back, and we'll actually pull back really close to the bumper here, just try to shorten the pull as much as we can, and then we'll go out onto the asphalt. So what I'm trying to do, as you can see, since we have the roller here, I'm going to try to pull up behind the vehicle to speed up the rolling process. However, there's one thing that the update also did, which is enabled the roller to have an on-off switch for rolling, which means you can't just roll over the pavement. As you can see, there's a stop rolling asphalt. So a couple of times here in the next couple of videos and everything, you'll see me forget to turn this on, and I'll start to roll across some asphalt, and then I'll be like, right, I gotta turn it on, and I'll have to like recorrect. But yeah, so enjoy me trying to drag the roller behind and seeing that it's not a very good idea. Hey, it's me again. So, I just wanted to kind of illustrate this point here. So if you look at the, roller, it kind of like zigzags behind me since there's only one point of contact. It would be nice if you could set up like multiple wedge points on this, and then it would just be perfect. But yeah, you can really illustrate it by that part there and right here. When I start turning, the paver starts also wiggling around when I'm towing it, which ends up making some very wiggly roads on the back there, as you can see. So yeah, immediately after this trial, I find out that, yeah, it's probably not a wise idea to tow a paver here. Although I suppose you could pull it uphill, because if it's uphill, then it's not going to, zigzag as much as it would on a level field. But anyway, that's sort of what happens there. But we're just going to recall the paver so we don't have to drag it back up here. Or not the paver, the roller, I'm sorry. And then we'll continue on from there. Also, sorry for all the interruptions here. I'm just kind of wanted to point out things that are new and show what I'm doing, right? If there's nothing really going on that's different from usual, I'm not going to be talking much, but I figured since these were new vehicles and new ideas that I was trying to play with, I would at least get them out there so y'all understood what was kind of happening. But yeah, we shouldn't have any more interruptions going forward. Hey, me again. So we have the basic outline of the sand we want to lay down, but I do want to get into that sand pit, so we're going to need to open those doors. For that, we want to get something that has a winch point, which we're going to use this crane for. But why just drive the crane there and then have to drive the dozer there as well, when we can carry the dozer with the crane? So this is one of my favorite things to do with pretty much any vehicle when I'm trying to get two vehicles and one of them's a crane to the point that I'm trying to get to. I will go ahead and just get the vehicle lifted up above the crane, and because it's a tipping hazard if you're just kind of carrying it like this, I like to kind of crunch it down between the crane and the arm. So I'll do something like this, where I will kind of wedge it down, so that way it can't really move too much. And there's not a whole lot of extra weight distribution that'll cause the crane to tip over, right? Kind of nice and symmetrical, so I'll do that. And the only issue is going to be coming up here in a moment, where due to the fact that it's a wider thing now, I'm going to have some issues going through or even under some obstacles. Specifically these pipes that go up, which I don't know why people would design something like this. Why don't you just go under the ground rather than over it? I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't be able to maintain them as easily, but it's better than stuff like that happening where things are getting hit, right? So anyway, we can continue driving through with this and whatnot. I'm trying to see if I can right it a little bit to make it not so wonky, but it's fine. We're just driving a little ways, so yeah. Anyway, we will go ahead and drop the bulldozer, have it clear the path to the doors, then take the crane and open up the doors so we can continue dropping sand and paving the road into the sand pit proper. with this last little bit, ladies and gentlemen, we're done with another section of roads. We can move on to another section. Alrighty, let's just get this tucked away nice and pretty, like so. Not that it really matters or anything, but for the sake of just kind of, I don't know what I'm doing actually. I don't know why I'm maneuvering it like that. But anyway, so we finished up all of this, all that lovely stuff here. You can see the nice paved roads that we did. So now let's kind of look for our next one. So all of this is already paved. All of this is good and all that. So I mean, we don't really have much to do there. And then we have up here, which we have paved. That little bit there needs to be done between the road we have paved and the road we have not paved. So we're probably going to be coming up here. And then we have some sections there. You know, you can see right here, we're going to start placing some markers down. So like I said, right there and there. But then there's also this trail up here to this like secondary port. That's an actual harbor and not just a string depot. So we're going to place down some more markers along the route we're going to be using here. And I think we'll do a nice circle of this little area right there, rather than just choosing one route. And then we're going to continue going up here past the sawmill. And we'll be going down here past this warehouse. Make sure to include that bridge there. Through this little puddle, that's actually a large puddle, up here to our current like T intersection right there. We also want to include up to that as well. And then that whole area is flagged and ready to go. And then over here near the dam, we have the exit of the dam. And then going north, we have up to here to these bridges, which we're not going to replace the bridges, I don't think. I think we might keep those. But we'll continue going down here to this little bog area that's been over flooded. And I'm out of markers, so we'll kind of do that. But we do want to continue going up the right here. There's only like one path, but we'll kind of cut in towards the shack that the guy has down there and meet up here with the dam section. And then all that'll be good. And there's some stuff up here past this, you know, area up this way. We'll continue going up north, but all this is paved right here on this road. You can see it goes up to the tunnel and all that, so that's good. We don't have to worry about paving any of that, but it kind of ends right there. So we'll continue up north, up to the dam up here, then up here to Fisherman's Isle, which will then conclude the entire area. So yeah, we have pretty much 1/4 of the map done. But until next time.